Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dion and today we are doing a 2024 trends prediction bop or flop. Sometimes I've done ranking videos for trends, but I always end up changing my ranking like in editing, so I thought bop or flop is easier. I looked across a bunch of different magazines and found 15 trends that appeared in at least 2, if not more, fashion trend predictions. That way I felt like it was a decent sample size. Because sometimes a magazine will be like, New Balances are a trend this year. By the way, here is our sponsorship from New Balance. And it's like, is this a trend or is this just like an ad? So to be featured in my trend list ranking bop or flop, you had to appear in at least 2 of the publications. So that's how I sort of found all of the trends that I want to be talking about in this. And when I say bop or flop, a bop just means it's good, it's great. Usually you say this in a song, like, oh, that's a bop. But like, yeah, the trend is a bop, I like it. Or a flop, I don't like it. And these are trends that fashion publications are predicting are going to be huge in 2024 based on what they saw on the runway. So if you like fashion trends and fashion commentary in general, then definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel because I post videos every Thursday. And with that, let's get into it. All right, so the first trend we have is mega high rise. W Magazine said, playing with proportions. At Loewe and Rick Owens, the bottoms were extremely high-waisted. And Vogue also referenced Loewe as well as Alexander McQueen, saying that the waistband rose to empire heights for men and women both. And I gotta say, bop. We had a little bit of a low-rise thing come. I mean, when it comes to rises and pants and that kind of thing, whatever, do what you like. But I'm always gonna be a high-waisted girl, even in the 2000s. I never really liked super low-waisted things. I got my belly button pierced when I was 14, and even then, I only like things low enough to like just below my belly button so people could see my piercing, but no lower than that. And that's really considered like a mid-rise. So I love high-rise. I definitely think that is a bop. Mod micro mini dresses and skirts. This is obviously going to be a bop for me. I did a whole video on the swinging 60s. If you've seen my TikToks or my Instagram, I've done videos dressing up in micro minis. I love 60s style. InStyle says that the happy marriage of boxy mod silhouettes and shimmering finishes ranges from peachy nude and pearlescent palettes and shift dress structures. W Magazine said, quote, we're no stranger to the mini hem, but this season's best dresses and skirts were not only mini, they all shared a similar 60s silhouette reminiscent of the 1967 classic Valley of the Dolls. I hope this trend does come to fruition because I love 60s style. And I think with the popularity of Priscilla, it'll definitely get into the mainstream and I'm excited for a 60s revival. The next trend we have is the no pants trend, which I thought we were gonna leave in 2023. Cosmo, Refinery 29, and Bustle all said that this was going to be a trend in 2024, but they're not like Vogue or InStyle, where I feel like they're more on the cutting edge. So maybe take this one with a grain of salt. Refinery 29 says the spring-summer 2024 shows have made it official. The take off your pants trend is about to, well, totally take off. It's easier to point out the designers who didn't send majorly exposed legs down the runway. Bustle says, quote, though wildly unwearable for the average fashionista, celebs undoubtedly will continue their campaign against pants well into 2024. It reminds me of like the Capitol Hunger Games fashion where it's like, we're gonna dress so crazy just to make sure that we are different from the pavos, the non-fashionistas. And like, yeah, no one with like a real job would ever really go out looking like this. I mean, whatever, fashion is fashion. I'm gonna call this a flop. One, because I think it's just like there's like an exclusivity aspect to it, in my opinion, and I just don't think it's realistic. The next trend was sporty. This was seen on Who What Wear, W, Bustle, and Refinery 29. And a lot of it was talking about sporty jackets, very like bloquette kind of style. Bustle says, quote, the likes of Miu Miu, Stella McCartney, and MSGM gave sporty shirts the style treatment, effectively making it a fashion girl closet requirement. W says, quote, right now it's all about pairing classic sportswear looks with more festive or tailored pieces for just the right amount of contrast. And I found this interesting because the bloquette aesthetic, I feel like happened maybe like a month or two ago. Trends happen so fast, and I feel like now the internet is ahead of the trends more than, than like fashion magazines. Because to me, like internet-wise, this feels very a few months ago. But I think in the summer, this will definitely make a comeback. And I definitely think it's a bop. I like sporty styles. It's not super my aesthetic, but I do like the way it's looking. Like it's better than like streetwear or like athleisure. Like if you're gonna do sporty style, I think this is really, really cute. So I'm gonna call it a bop. Similarly, preppy style seemed to be on a lot of runways this season, including Bali, Miu Miu, Loewe, Susan Fang, and Moschino. And a lot of it is like subversive preppiness. It's not like the classic prepster look that we think of. Vogue says, quote, this season's tank is the polo shirt, an icon of preppiness that was revived and given a summer camp vibe at Miu Miu. In Style says, quote, it's about blending hard and soft, angular and airy, masculine and feminine vibes for a delightfully daring remix. So similar to the sporty thing, it's not just taking it straight forward, but it's taking preppy and sporty aspects and adding it with incongruous pieces, like pieces that don't necessarily match for a very contrasting look. And I'm gonna say bop. I like preppy style. I had a little preppy phase in college. I like 80s prepster. I think prep can be really, really cool. So I'm gonna bop it. This next one, you guys, I am such a trend forecaster. Office chic. I mean, come on, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Who What Wear said, quote, Prada, Peter Du, Bottega Veneta, and Proenza Scalar all tapped their HR departments for tips on the perfect suit to wear back to work, while chic fashion people dug out their Monday morning finest from pre-COVID storage to wear during Fashion Week in Milan and Paris. InStyle talked about how it's business sensual, so it's business pieces, but in a sexy, maybe sheer, maybe cutout way. Very office siren-esque. So I'm gonna bop it. It's not necessarily my aesthetic. It's like a moderate bop. I bop it for everyone else. It's a little too plain for me, but I do like the sort of sexy office look. I do think it's gonna be reminiscent of 2010s business casual though. In a similar vein of office chic, short suits were also predicted as a 2024 trend. W said, quote, the suiting trend we saw a lot this season was on the shorter side. Mostly the shorts were Bermuda length, like at Loewe, Chanel, and Dries Van Noten. Refinery29 says, the short suits bossy yet fun aesthetic sets the tone for wearers who mean business without taking themselves too seriously. And I don't know about this one, guys. It's either neutral or flop. I don't like matching short suits. I can do a blazer with shorts. I think that's kind of cool. I don't really I don't know. It might be our first flop. I've been very positive. I think this might be our flop. Neutral or flop. Sorry. The next one is complete blackout. Black on black on black, everything all black. W said about the Prada show that the dark 1950s inspired rhinestone encrusted dresses felt both polished and undone at the same time. At Dior, the collection was mostly all black clothing. Vogue said that the predominance of black on the runway seemed to acknowledge the human condition while at the same time showing us how the imagination can soar even in times of sadness. And I'm gonna flop this one. The only time I wear an all black outfit is at work, where it's required that I wear an all black outfit. Anna Wintour said that the least chic thing that you could wear would be all black. I always need a pop of color. I always need a little pizzazz. I understand that there is an entire camp of people in fashion theory that vehemently disagree with this and think all black is very, very chic, including clearly Prada and Dior. But to me, this is a flop. Really, all black? Come on. Similarly, non-seasonal white is very on trend for this season. And most magazines made a very big distinction saying it's not winter white. We're talking, don't wear it after Labor Day. We are talking classic summery whites in winter. And unlike the complete blackout, I'm gonna say this is a bop because I hate the idea that colors are limited to a season. That color's too masculine, that color's too feminine, or I can't wear this color year round. And it's what are you talking about? These things aren't real. These rules, they were made up initially so we can unmake them up. They are I'm sorry. Okay, I have a neck thing. I don't like when things touch my neck. I'm gonna get to this later, but I'm just trying to be chic. So I'm gonna say that unseasonal white is a bop because I appreciate the subversiveness to arbitrary fashion rules. The next one is metallics, and this was a big trend for like fall as well. I feel like metallics the past like year or two have been called a trend. This time in a lot of like breastplates, chainmail, and structured metallic, very like medieval vibes. And Vogue mentioned that since Paris will be hosting the Olympic Games, it seems like everyone was inspired wearing like bronze and gold. And I guess I will bop it because for me, metallics are fun neutrals. Like gold and silver, how are you gonna tell me silver's white, silver's gray? How are you gonna tell me that silver's not a neutral? Like we sell metallic pieces at the store that I work at. I'm like, don't think of it as a metallic. This is gray or white. So what would you wear with gray or white? I'm gonna bop it. It's almost New Year's Eve season. I like sparkle. Yeah, I'll bop it. It's a neutral to bop. It's not like a full bop. It's not bop, 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 doody dop, bop, bop. That's for people who are over 30 in my comments. Anyone? Hanson fans, anyone? This next one is like disheveled, rumpled, slashed clothing. Vogue talked about like cutouts and slashed as if someone took like scissors to garments. W talked about like wrinkled and like tumbled dry clothing. But there was a lot of like theories in general around like disheveled, unpolished, unfinished looks. This one's hard because if I flop it, I'm flopping myself because I don't iron, I don't steam. Everything that I own is wrinkled, stained, or ripped. Every single thing that I own. That's why I like vintage and thrifting because at least I'm not the first person to destroy it. So if I flop the disheveled slashed clothing look, then I'm flopping myself. However, I'm not like completely bopping it. I don't think it's like a great quality. I appreciate the ease and I appreciate the accessibility. I'm gonna say a neutral. I'm gonna say a neutral on this one. The next trend that we saw a ton of was volume. Bigger the better, over the top, lots full skirts, just in general volume for the upcoming season. W said, quote, we saw a lot of supersized accents like Peter Pan collars at Comme des Garçons and the buttons at Vivienne Westwood. Vogue said, quote, creative directors and their teams sunk their hands into fabric, crushing, twisting, and molding it into wonderful, evocative volumes. And Refinery 29 said, we're noticing a lot more volume when it comes to bottoms that land below the knee. So I'm gonna bop this. I like extravagant fashion. I like bigger the better. I think that we are far too casual as a society. And so I think I support the avant-garde and the extra, the maximalist. So I'm bopping this. I bop it. Twist it. Bop it. All right, we got 3 more. Fringe. Off the bat, I'm gonna bop it because I love Fringe. I love Maximalist style. I love 70s. I love Bog Mackie. So you guys know. This talked about micro fringe and like crystal fringe specifically, but like the micro braids of fringe, like really, 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 really tiny. W said, quote, Raf Simons, Prada, Matthew Blazy, and Sarah Burton are telling us that fringe is back in style. Well, you better believe it's true. In Style said, quote, 2024's fringe forecast calls for the ultra-fine strands of micro-fringe, accenting hemlines and directing the eye to key elements of outerwear, dresses, and separates. So yeah, this is a definite bop for me. Great for New Year's Eve. Great in general to add a little movement to a dress or just to anything. I think fringe is just so interesting. Why is my rose falling? We're almost at the rose part. The second to last one are florals, specifically roses. And specifically 3D applique, like bigger roses, not really in print, but in texture. Refinery 29 said, quote, designers are ditching blossoming motifs for something far more dramatic when it comes to flowers, like the extra large embroidery cutouts at Valentino, multi-dimensional floral breast pieces at Loewe, knitted rosettes at Alexander McQueen, and actual pink roses stuffed inside sheer garments at Simone Rocha. And I really like this trend. I think it's similar to the bow trend where like putting bows or roses on everything. I actually crocheted this last night, the little rose, and then I did a little chain, just a little chain to make it long enough to be a belt or a choker. I want to make a bunch of them and like add pins to them so I can just apply them to different garments. I'm still like troubleshooting it. Okay, now that I'm at the rose part, I can finally take this off. Again, I have like a neck thing. As cute as I think this is, I'm kind of freaking out, but I definitely bought this trend. I think it's really, really cute, and crocheting floral roses takes like no time. It took me like 2 Gilmore Girls episodes to make this, and here, I'll take it all off so you guys can see. Yeah, super easy, super cute. I made a little thing long enough to wrap around my waist, or I could do it around my neck, and I'm making like a white one now. I just want to make a bunch of them and add safety pins to them so I can kind of DIY my own outfits and always like spice things up. I did the same thing. I have a bunch of bows and a bunch of ribbons. It's a very easy, inexpensive way to create new garments and new outfits. If you're like, I've worn this black miniskirt a zillion times, make a bunch of crochet roses, and then you have like a crochet miniskirt thing vibe. So yeah, this is a bop for me. Definitely a big bop. Oh, I feel so much better now that it's off. And the last trend prediction for 2024 were strappy heels. Specifically, strappy heels with socks or stockings, but strappy heels in general. Slingbacks, just all the little straps, buckles, Mary Janes. Straps. InStyle said, quote, "If the spring-summer 2024 runways are any indication, fashion has put its foot down firmly on the sock side of socks with heels and sandals debate. Etro and Moschino took things one step further. The former went for a full-on statement sock worn with sandals and strappy summer flats, while the latter layered frilly ankle socks over lace tight for a more is more approach to the trend." And I think this is really cute. I love a strappy I love the low heel trend in general that's happening. I love a slingback. I love a wedge. I love a kitten heel. I like a sensible shoe, a sensible heel. I'm also 5'8". I mean, I love high heels, but with my ankles, I can't be doing that anymore. So I'm definitely gonna bop this. I think it's cute for summer, and I think embracing modifying summer clothes and shoes for winter is so good. It's a sustainable way of doing things, but similar to like the micro mini trend, taking your summer mini skirts and mini dresses, adding a turtleneck and tights under it is a way to like double the size of your closet. You know, just having turtleneck and tights to be under summer clothes and adapting them for winter is awesome. And same with like strappy heels and socks. I think great, more options for you to dress up and be a little bit funky in the winter because it's just hard. If you live in a place where it's really, really cold, obviously these aren't the most practical things, but I mean, I live in New England and it is like 60 degrees right now and Christmas is this week. So like, hi global warming. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know which trends do you bop or flop? You guys let me know what trends that you like and are looking forward to wearing in 2024. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because it really helps me out. And follow me on TikTok and Instagram to see more of my personal style. Let me know also down below what you like to see from me. I'm always taking suggestions. And with that, have a happy day. Bye!